George loved having fun. He especially loved building things for his kids, Lily and Tom. One of his best creations was a winding go-kart track in their backyard. It wasn't fancy, just some old tires and painted lines on the grass, but the kids loved zooming around it in their little electric go-karts. They would spend hours racing, laughing, and making engine noises. George would even join in sometimes, making silly announcements over a toy microphone like he was a real race car announcer. Their backyard was their happy place. It was a bit wild and overgrown, but that's how they liked it. It felt like a secret world away from the boring grown-up stuff. Then, one sunny Tuesday, everything changed. A crisp white envelope arrived with the dreaded words, Homeowners Association, printed in bold letters. George sighed. He knew this couldn't be good. He opened the letter and read the words. The HOA was giving him 48 hours to remove the go-kart track. Someone had complained about the noise and the unsightly appearance. George felt his stomach drop. He looked out at the go-kart track, seeing not just tires and paint, but hours of fun and laughter. He knew he couldn't just let it go without a fight. He crumpled the letter in his hand, a spark of defiance in his eyes. 48 hours, huh? They think they can just take away our fun. We'll see about that. The letter felt like a punch to the gut. George reread it, hoping he'd somehow misread the deadline. Nope. 48 hours. It was official. He pictured the grumpy face of Mr. Henderson, the head of the HOA, a man who seemed to find joy only in enforcing rules and complaining about perfectly normal things. George was sure Mr. Henderson was behind this. Lily and Tom came running into the kitchen, their faces flushed from playing outside. "Dad, can we have a race before dinner?" Lily asked, already grabbing her helmet. George forced a smile. Guys, come sit down for a sec. I need to tell you something." He explained about the letter, trying to soften the blow. He told them the HOA wanted them to get rid of the go-kart track. Lily's face crumpled. But why? We love the go-kart track. Tom, ever the pragmatist, asked, "What's an HOA?" George explained, "It's like a group of grown-ups who make rules for the neighborhood." "But that's not fair." Lily exclaimed. "It's our backyard." George nodded. "I know, sweetie. And I'm not sure we're going to let them take it away." He winked. "I have an idea. A crazy idea." Lily and Tom exchanged excited glances. Their dad's crazy ideas were usually the best. "So," Lily said, bouncing in her seat. "What's the crazy idea?" George grinned. "Okay, so they don't want a go-kart track, right? They think it's unsightly." He made air quotes. "Well, what if we made something more sightly?" Tom tilted his head. "Like what?" George's eyes twinkled. "Like a theme park." Lily and Tom stared at him, mouths agape. A theme park? In their backyard? A theme park? Lily finally squeaked. "Like with rides and games and everything?" "Exactly," George said, grabbing a napkin and a pen. "Think about it. They can't complain about a theme park. It's wholesome, family-friendly, and way more impressive than a few tires." Tom, ever the practical one, said, "But Dad, how are we going to build a theme park in 48 hours? George shrugged. "We'll figure it out. We'll work together, get some friends to help. We can do this." He started sketching on the napkin. "We'll need a name, and some attractions, a roller coaster, maybe. And definitely a cotton candy machine." Lily clapped her hands. "This is going to be amazing." George, fueled by equal parts defiance and excitement, felt a surge of energy. Mr. Henderson wanted a fight. He was about to get one. A colorful, fun-filled, utterly ridiculous fight. The go-kart track might be gone in 48 hours, but something even better was about to take its place. That night, the kitchen table became mission control. George spread out a large sheet of paper and started sketching. Lily and Tom, buzzing with excitement, offered suggestions. "We need a name," Lily declared. "How about Lillipad Land?" Tom wrinkled his nose. "Too girly. It should be Tom's Terrific Theme Park." George chuckled. "How about we combine them? Lily and Tom's Terrific Land?" They all agreed. It sounded perfect. Next came the attractions. The roller coaster was a must, of course. George envisioned a small, gently sloping track made of wood, just high enough to give a little thrill. They also brainstormed carnival games, a ring toss, a beanbag throw, and a duck pond where you could win a prize every time. "We need themes," Lily exclaimed. "Like, different areas." Tom suggested a pirate cove, complete with a treasure chest and a plank to walk. Lily wanted a candy land, with lollipop decorations and a gingerbread house. George, ever the pragmatist, just like Tom, thought a jungle area with leafy decorations and animal sounds would be easy to create. As they planned, George felt a surge of determination. This wasn't just about defying the HOA anymore. It was about creating something special, something that would bring joy to his kids and the whole neighborhood. He knew it would be a lot of work, but seeing the excitement in Lily and Tom's eyes made it all worthwhile. This theme park was going to be legendary. And it was going to be built in 48 hours. The next morning, George rallied the troops. "All right, team," he announced, brandishing the theme park sketch. "Time to build a dream." First, they needed help. George called Mrs. Rodriguez, whose son, Mateo, was best friends with Tom. He explained the situation and his crazy plan. Mrs. Rodriguez, known for her adventurous spirit, immediately offered Mateo's assistance. Lily called her friend, Chloe, who was a master artist with face paint. Chloe, hearing about the theme park, volunteered to paint murals and help with decorations. Soon, a small but enthusiastic crew had assembled in George's backyard. George assigned tasks. Tom and Mateo were in charge of gathering wood scraps from a nearby construction site, with permission, of course. Lily and Chloe started painting old tires bright colors for the carnival games. George, armed with his trusty toolbox, began mapping out the roller coaster track. The backyard buzzed with activity. Hammers pounded, paintbrushes swished, and laughter filled the air. Even the grumpy Mr. Henderson peeked over the fence a few times, his eyebrows raised in what might have been curiosity. George knew they had a long way to go, but he was amazed by the energy and enthusiasm of the team. They were turning a backyard into a wonderland, one piece of colorful junk at a time. The HOA had given them 48 hours to take something down, but they were about to show them what they could build. Finding supplies proved to be a challenge. Building a theme park from scratch wasn't cheap, and they were on a tight budget. George put out a call on the neighborhood's online forum, asking for donations of old wood, paint, and anything else that could be repurposed. The response was amazing. Neighbors started dropping off all sorts of things: old tires, plywood scraps, colorful fabric, even a slightly rusty but still functional popcorn machine. Mrs. Davison, a retired teacher, donated a box full of prizes for the carnival games, small toys, stickers, and candy. Tom and Mateo discovered that the construction site down the street was throwing away a pile of perfectly good wooden pallets. After getting permission from the foreman, they spent an afternoon hauling the pallets back to George's backyard, their arms aching but their spirits high. Lily and Chloe raided their own closets for old clothes and accessories that could be used for costumes and decorations. They found pirate hats, colorful scarves, and even a sparkly tutu that would be perfect for the candy land. As the pile of donated materials grew, George felt a sense of gratitude wash over him. The community was rallying behind their crazy idea, turning a potential disaster into a collaborative effort. It wasn't just a theme park anymore, it was a symbol of neighborhood spirit. And they still had 24 hours left. The clock was ticking, but they were making progress. Big progress. Building the roller coaster was the biggest challenge. George, despite his enthusiasm, wasn't an engineer. He spent hours studying online tutorials and sketching out designs, trying to figure out how to make a safe and fun ride using mostly scrap wood. He decided on a simple design, a gently sloping track that would wind around a small hill in the backyard. The cars would be repurposed laundry baskets fitted with wheels. Safety was the top priority. George made sure the track was sturdy and the slope wasn't too steep. Tom and Matteo helped him assemble the wooden frame, carefully measuring and nailing the pieces together. It was slow, painstaking work, and there were moments when George doubted they could pull it off. But the kid's enthusiasm kept him going. "It's going to be so awesome, Dad!" Lily exclaimed, watching them work. "The best roller coaster ever." George smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. He hoped she was right. He tested the first section of track with a heavy bag of sand, watching nervously as it rolled down the slope. It worked. The bag stayed on the track, and the wheels held up. With renewed confidence, they continued building, section by section. As the sun began to set, the roller coaster was finally complete. It wasn't the biggest or the fastest roller coaster in the world, but it was theirs. And it was ready to ride. Almost. With the roller coaster complete, the focus shifted to the carnival games. Lily and Chloe took the lead on this, transforming the donated tires into colorful targets for the ring toss. They painted numbers on them, assigning different point values for each ring. For the beanbag throw, they used a large piece of plywood and cut out holes of various sizes. They decorated the board with bright colors and silly monster faces, making it extra appealing to kids. Mrs. Davison's donated prizes were proudly displayed on a makeshift shelf behind the game. The duck pond was a simple but effective idea. They filled a kiddie pool with water and floated rubber ducks in it. Each duck had a number written on the bottom, corresponding to a prize. It was a guaranteed win every time, ensuring that everyone who played felt like a winner. Tom and Matteo, feeling a bit left out of the crafting fun, volunteered to build the game booths. They used more of the wooden pallets to create sturdy little structures, painting them with stripes and polka dots. As the carnival games took shape, the backyard transformed into a vibrant and festive space. The air buzzed with creativity and laughter. Even George, exhausted from building the roller coaster, felt a surge of energy as he watched the kids work. They were creating something truly special, something that would bring joy to the whole neighborhood. And they were doing it together. The deadline was looming, but they were ready. Almost. The final touches involved bringing the themed areas to life. For the jungle zone, they hung green streamers from the trees and scattered stuffed animals, a monkey, a tiger, and a friendly-looking snake, around the area. They even found an old Bluetooth speaker and played jungle sounds to create an immersive atmosphere. The Pirate Cove was centered around a large cardboard box that they transformed into a treasure chest. They filled it with shiny plastic jewels, gold-painted rocks, and chocolate coins. A wooden plank extended from the box, daring kids to walk the plank over a conveniently placed pile of soft cushions. The Candy Land was Lily's masterpiece. She and Chloe used colorful balloons, crepe paper, and lollipops to create a sugary wonderland. The gingerbread house was made from cardboard boxes and decorated with frosting made from paint and glitter. It looked good enough to eat, but definitely wasn't. As darkness fell, George strung up fairy lights around the backyard, illuminating the theme park with a magical glow. The carnival games sparkled, the roller coaster looked inviting, and the themed areas beckoned with adventure. George surveyed their creation, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. They had done it. They had transformed a simple backyard into a wonderland in just 48 hours. But the real test was yet to come. Tomorrow, the HOA would arrive. And George had a feeling Mr. Henderson was going to be very surprised. Despite the outward appearance of success, George harbored secret doubts. What if the HOA hated it? What if Mr. Henderson was even more determined to shut them down? What if the roller coaster wasn't safe enough? These thoughts swirled in his mind as he tried to fall asleep that night. Lily, sensing her dad's unease, crept into his room. "Dad," she whispered. "Are you worried?" George sighed. "A little, sweetie. I just want everything to be perfect." Lily snuggled beside him. "It already is perfect, Dad. We built it together. And it's way more fun than that old go-kart track." Her words eased his anxiety. He looked at her trusting face and remembered why he was doing this in the first place. It wasn't just about defying the HOA, it was about creating memories with his kids, about showing them that anything is possible with a little creativity and teamwork. He hugged her tight. "You're right, Lily. Thank you." But the doubts lingered. As he lay awake, he couldn't shake the feeling that something might go wrong. Maybe the roller coaster would break down. Maybe the prizes for the carnival games wouldn't be appealing enough. Maybe nobody would even come. He knew he had given it his all, but the pressure of the deadline and the potential consequences weighed heavily on his shoulders. He just hoped it was enough. He hoped that Lily and Tom's Terrific Land would be enough to win over the HOA and bring joy to the neighborhood. He hoped. The morning dawned bright and sunny, a stark contrast to George's gloomy mood. He woke up with a knot in his stomach, the 48-hour deadline hanging over his head like a dark cloud. He checked his watch every few minutes, counting down the remaining hours. He tried to appear calm and collected as he helped Lily and Tom set up the final touches. They hung a hand-painted sign that read "Lily and Tom's Terrific Land, open today," near the entrance. They inflated more balloons and arranged the prizes on the shelves. By 10 a.m., kids from all over the neighborhood started arriving, their faces beaming with excitement. They lined up to ride the roller coaster, toss rings, and try their luck at the beanbag throw. The backyard buzzed with laughter and activity. George watched, his heart swelling with pride. The theme park was a hit. The kids were having a blast, and even some of the parents were joining in the fun. He saw Mrs. Davison trying to win a prize at the duck pond, and Mr. Johnson, the usually quiet neighbor, was laughing as he walked the plank in the Pirate Cove. But the joy was tempered by anxiety. He knew the HOA could arrive at any moment. He scanned the street nervously, waiting for the dreaded sight of Mr. Henderson's car. The clock was ticking. The 48 hours were almost up. It was now or never. Just as George was starting to relax, he saw it. A dark sedan, slow and menacing, pulling up to the curb. Mr. Henderson's car. His heart leaped into his throat. This was it. He took a deep breath and plastered a smile on his face. He walked toward the gate, trying to appear confident. Mr. Henderson emerged from the car, followed by two other HOA members, Mrs. Crabtree, known for her meticulous lawn care, and Mr. Peterson, who always complained about noise. They looked grim. "Good morning, gentlemen, madam," George said, his voice surprisingly steady. "Welcome to Lily and Tom's Terrific Land." Mr. Henderson barely acknowledged him. He adjusted his glasses and surveyed the scene with a critical eye. "So," he said, his voice dripping with disapproval. "This is what you've replaced the go-kart track with?" George gestured around the backyard, trying to highlight the positive aspects. "Yes, sir. It's a theme park for the neighborhood kids. We've got a roller coaster, carnival games, themed areas, everything." Mrs. Crabtree frowned. "It looks rather chaotic." Mr. Peterson crossed his arms. "And I can already hear the noise complaints rolling in." George's heart sank. He knew this was going to be an uphill battle. But he wasn't ready to give up yet. He had one last trick up his sleeve. "Would you like to take a tour?" he asked, hoping to win them over with the sheer fun of it all. Perhaps even try the roller coaster? Mr. Henderson hesitated, then grudgingly nodded. Very well, he said. A tour it is. George led them into the theme park, trying to highlight the safety features of the roller coaster and the family-friendly nature of the carnival games. But Mr. Henderson remained unimpressed. He pointed out a loose nail on the roller coaster track, a slightly crooked sign on the beanbag throw, and a stray piece of glitter in the jungle zone. Mrs. Crabtree wrinkled her nose at the unruly state of the backyard. Mr. Peterson kept muttering about the noise level, even though the kids were simply laughing and having fun. George's hope began to dwindle. He knew he was losing them. But then, something unexpected happened. Little Timmy Johnson, Mr. Johnson's son, ran up to Mr. Henderson, tugging on his pants leg. "Mister," Timmy said, his eyes wide with excitement. "You gotta try the roller coaster. It's super fun." Mr. Henderson looked down at Timmy, then back at the roller coaster. He hesitated for a moment, then, to everyone's surprise, he said, "Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to try it." George couldn't believe his ears. He quickly ushered Mr. Henderson toward the roller coaster, strapping him into one of the laundry basket cars. Lily and Tom gave the car a gentle push, and Mr. Henderson went gliding down the track. As he rounded the first turn, a flicker of something, was it a smile? Appeared on his face. And as he reached the end of the ride, he let out a genuine laugh. A laugh. George had never heard Mr. Henderson laugh before. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope after all. After his unexpected roller coaster ride, Mr. Henderson seemed different. He wasn't exactly jovial, but the stern disapproval had softened. He even cracked a small smile as he watched Mrs. Crabtree try her hand at the ring toss, and fail miserably. Mr. Peterson, however, remained unconvinced. He still complained about the noise, even though the kids were now politely cheering on Mrs. Crabtree. But then, Mateo offered him a bag of freshly popped popcorn from the donated popcorn machine. The smell of buttery popcorn seemed to work its magic, and Mr. Peterson's frown lines eased slightly. George watched, cautiously optimistic. He knew he hadn't completely won them over, but he had definitely made progress. He decided to seize the opportunity. "Gentlemen, madam," he said, gathering them together. "I understand your concerns about the noise and the appearance of the backyard. But I hope you can see that this theme park is bringing joy to the neighborhood kids. It's a place where they can have fun, be creative, and build friendships." He continued, "We're willing to make some compromises. We can limit the hours of operation, keep the noise level down, and make sure the backyard is kept clean and tidy. We just want to provide a safe and fun space for the kids in our community." He looked at them earnestly, hoping they would understand. The fate of Lily and Tom's terrific land hung in the balance. The 48 hours were officially up. It was time for the HOA to make a decision. Mr. Henderson exchanged glances with Mrs. Crabtree and Mr. Peterson. A long, tense silence followed. George held his breath, waiting for their verdict. Finally, Mr. Henderson cleared his throat. "Mr. George," he said, stumbling over the name. "We were prepared to order you to dismantle this structure immediately." George's heart sank. He knew it. But Mr. Henderson continued, "However," he said, raising a hand, "we are also impressed by the ingenuity and the community spirit that is evident here." Mrs. Crabtree nodded in agreement. "It is certainly more imaginative than a simple go-kart track." Mr. Peterson, still munching on popcorn, chimed in, "And the kids do seem to be having a good time." Mr. Henderson sighed. "Therefore," he announced, "the HOA has decided to allow Lily and Tom's terrific land to remain, under certain conditions." George's jaw dropped. He couldn't believe it. They were going to let him keep the theme park. "We will need to establish some guidelines," Mr. Henderson continued, regaining his stern demeanor. "Hours of operation will be limited to weekends only, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Noise levels must be kept to a minimum, and all trash must be properly disposed of. And of course, the structure must be kept safe and well maintained. George nodded eagerly. Of course, of course. We agree to all of those conditions. Mr. Henderson nodded curtly. Very well then, he said. Consider this a probationary period. We will be monitoring the situation closely. But for now, Lily and Tom's Terrific Land is approved. The following weekends were a whirlwind of activity at Lily and Tom's Terrific Land. George and the kids diligently followed the HOA's guidelines, keeping the noise down, cleaning up meticulously, and ensuring the park was safe and well maintained. The theme park quickly became the most popular spot in the neighborhood. Kids lined up every Saturday and Sunday to ride the roller coaster, play the carnival games, and explore the themed areas. Parents brought picnics and chatted while their children played. George noticed that even Mr. Henderson and Mrs. Crabtree would occasionally stroll by the backyard, their expressions softening as they watched the kids having fun. Mr. Peterson even started volunteering to help with the popcorn machine, much to everyone's amusement. The theme park wasn't just a place for fun, it was a place where friendships were formed, and community bonds were strengthened. Kids who had never spoken to each other before were now laughing and playing together. Neighbors who had previously kept to themselves were now connecting and sharing stories. George realized that he had created something truly special, something that went far beyond his initial goal of defying the HOA. He had built a place where kids could be kids, where neighbors could connect, and where the spirit of community could thrive. And it all started with a crazy idea and a 48-hour deadline. It was a reminder that sometimes, the best things in life come from the most unexpected challenges. Looking back, George realized he had learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes, the things that seem like obstacles can actually be opportunities in disguise. If the HOA hadn't threatened to shut down the go-kart track, he never would have come up with the idea for the theme park. And if he hadn't built the theme park, he never would have witnessed the incredible power of community and creativity. He also learned the importance of standing up for what you believe in. It would have been easy to simply dismantle the go-kart track and give in to the HOA's demands. But he knew that it wasn't just about him, it was about his kids, their friends, and the entire neighborhood. He wanted to show them that it's important to fight for what you love, even when it seems impossible. And finally, he learned that even the grumpiest people have a soft spot somewhere. He never would have imagined that Mr. Henderson would actually enjoy the roller coaster or that Mr. Peterson would volunteer to help with the popcorn machine. It was a reminder that everyone deserves a chance to be happy and that even the strictest rules can be bent with a little creativity and kindness. Lily and Tom's Terrific Land became a testament to these lessons. It was a reminder that anything is possible with a little imagination, teamwork, and a whole lot of heart. And it was a reminder that sometimes, the best way to solve a problem is to build a theme park. With the success of Lily and Tom's Terrific Land firmly established, George and the kids started brainstorming ideas for new attractions and improvements. Tom wanted to add a water slide, while Lily dreamed of a petting zoo with fluffy bunnies and playful goats. George, ever the practical one, suggested a mini-golf course. He envisioned a whimsical course with obstacles made from recycled materials, old tires, plastic bottles, and even a discarded washing machine drum. They also discussed adding more themed areas. Mateo suggested a superhero zone, while Chloe proposed a space-themed area with a rocket ship and glow-in-the-dark decorations. George realized that the possibilities were endless. The theme park could continue to evolve and grow, reflecting the creativity and imagination of the entire neighborhood. He decided to hold a community meeting to gather ideas and solicit help from other neighbors. To his surprise, almost everyone showed up, eager to contribute their skills and talents. Mrs. Davison offered to design and sew costumes for the characters in the themed areas. Mr. Johnson volunteered to build the mini-golf course obstacles. And even Mr. Henderson, with a sheepish grin, offered to donate some of his prize-winning roses for the Candyland garden. George smiled. Lily and Tom's Terrific Land wasn't just a backyard theme park anymore, it was a collaborative project, a testament to the power of community and the magic of shared dreams. And the adventure was just beginning. The story of Lily and Tom's Terrific Land didn't end there. A local news reporter, hearing about the theme park and its incredible community spirit, decided to write a story about it. The article was a huge success. It highlighted George's ingenuity, the kids' creativity, and the neighborhood's unwavering support. The reporter even interviewed Mr. Henderson, who, to everyone's surprise, had nothing but positive things to say about the theme park. "It's a wonderful addition to our community," Mr. Henderson said. "It's brought people together and created a sense of belonging. And I must admit, the roller coaster is quite enjoyable." The news story spread like wildfire, reaching people all over the state. Soon, George was receiving calls and emails from other communities, asking for advice on how to build their own backyard theme parks. George and the kids even started a website and a social media page, sharing tips, ideas, and inspiration for aspiring theme park builders. Lily and Tom's Terrific Land had become a symbol of hope and possibility, inspiring others to create their own havens of fun and community. The HOA's initial threat to shut down the go-kart track had inadvertently sparked a movement that celebrated creativity, community, and the power of a good laugh. And it all started with a crazy idea and a 48-hour deadline. It was a reminder that even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect, transforming the world one backyard theme park at a time. The phone rang. It was the producer from a daytime talk show. They wanted George, Lily, and Tom to come on the show and share their story. George was hesitant at first. He wasn't used to being in the spotlight. But Lily and Tom were thrilled. They couldn't wait to share their theme park with the world. So, a few weeks later, they found themselves on a brightly lit stage in front of a live audience. They told their story, from the dreaded HOA letter to the crazy idea of building a theme park in 48 hours. They showed pictures and videos of Lily and Tom's Terrific Land, highlighting the roller coaster, the carnival games, and the themed areas. The audience was captivated. They laughed, they cheered, and they even shed a few tears. At the end of the segment, the host surprised them with a special gift, a brand new cotton candy machine. But the biggest surprise came when Mr. Henderson walked onto the stage. He shook George's hand and apologized for his initial skepticism. He admitted that he had been wrong about the theme park and that it had brought so much joy to the community. Then, he announced that the HOA had decided to waive all the rules and restrictions for Lily and Tom's Terrific Land. They were free to operate the theme park whenever they wanted, without any limitations. George, Lily, and Tom were overjoyed. They had not only saved their theme park but had also won over the hearts of their entire community. And it all started with a crazy idea and a 48-hour deadline. It was a reminder that anything is possible with a little bit of courage, creativity, and a whole lot of heart. Years later, Lily and Tom's Terrific Land was still going strong. It had become a beloved landmark in the community, a place where kids could be kids, neighbors could connect, and dreams could come true. George, Lily, and Tom had moved on to other adventures, but they never forgot the lessons they learned during those crazy 48 hours. They continued to embrace creativity, stand up for what they believed in, and foster a sense of community wherever they went. And every now and then, they would return to Lily and Tom's Terrific Land, reminiscing about the challenges they overcame and the joy they created. They would ride the roller coaster, play the carnival games, and stroll through the themed areas, remembering the laughter, the teamwork, and the unwavering support of their neighbors. The theme park had become more than just a collection of rides and attractions, it was a symbol of the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even the most ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they come together with a shared vision and a whole lot of heart. And as George looked around at the smiling faces, he knew that the legacy of Lily and Tom's Terrific Land would live on for generations to come, inspiring others to dream big, build boldly, and never give up on the magic of possibility. The end.